So I just finished watching season 1, episode 3 of The Perfectionists, the spin-off to the Pretty Little Liars series. I'm starting to get excited about it, so I thought I'd come on here and share a few thoughts. There's going to be spoilers both for this show and for Pretty Little Liars, so if you're interested, you haven't watched either of those yet, come back and watch my video later after you've finished the Perfectionist series, Pretty Little Liars, or both. Alright, let's get started. So this show is a spin-off to Pretty Little Liars that's based on a book series by the same author. From everything that I have heard, because I have not read the books, I have watched all of the Pretty Little Liars series, love it. From everything that I have heard, they are including some aspects barely from the Perfectionist book series, but Pretty Little Liars did not follow the book series. I think it's one of those rare adaptations where the series ends up, the TV show ends up being better than the books. Don't hate me, I haven't read the books, I know, I need to read them at some point, but the amount of money made and the audience that this TV series had, from that perspective, the show did much better than the book series did. So what they're doing with this new series is really fascinating to me because they're trying to incorporate characters from one book series into another book series that were never there before. And I can't really think of another example of where I've seen that on TV. Well, I didn't know how they were going to pull this off, but I know that the creators of the original show, I mean, they pulled it off for 7 seasons with Pretty Little Liars and made a crazy, entertaining, just soap opera, teen drama type show for 7 years. So I think that if anyone can do it, they can, and they have some really good material to start off with. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my camera. Okay. They have some really good material to start off with in the first place from the book series. So the first thing that they do in this series is they have Alison, who's the one of the main characters from the first series, explaining, she's talking about an Agatha Christie novel, which is a murder mystery novel. And then they kind of set this whole show up as a murder mystery with a few main characters who are all suspects, and the audience has no idea who did it. This is similar to how the last show worked. What's different about this show, the new series, is kind of that we have some characters that we know going into it, and they've kind of just completely dropped off Allie's wife and her 2 kids from the show. She showed up for like 30 seconds, Emily did, but then they just kind of dropped her off, and we don't really know what's going on. So I want to see what's going on with the old characters that we know and love, but I'm also excited to see what they can do with these old characters that we have known for so long. I love seeing Alison back on screen. She's such a talented actor. If you didn't know, she was only 13 years old when Pretty Little Liars started. So she was 12 when she auditioned, and she was going up against 24-year-old actors who didn't know that she was as young as she was. So she was, you know, you can't tell when you go back and watch that show how young she is and how talented she is as an actor to be able to portray a 16-year-old character at 12 years old when all the other actresses that she's working with are in their, you know, mid-20s, and to look the same age as them is incredibly talented. Not only did she look the same age, but she was probably one of the strongest actresses on that show, at least when it first started, because I think they all grew as actresses over time and became better and better. Sorry about the shaky cam here. I swear it's not just because Pretty Little Liars does the shaky cam sometimes. But, and there's a few things that I had thoughts on for this show. I think the setup is excellent. I think that it's intriguing. The Mona conspiracy rabbit hole is always fun to watch, just how far that can actually go. And the crazier it gets, the better. This is kind of one of those shows where it's so bad it's good, but it's also good. And you usually just get one or the other. So it's kind of soap opera-y in that way, and teen drama-y in the other way. But what they did was kind of drop you into this school, into this world where we no longer have a feeling of familiarity, because Rosewood, we kind of had a grip on what was going on. It was kind of safe, and everything kind of, it felt spooky, but it wasn't, we knew these characters for so long. And now we're jumping into a new world with new characters, and we don't know who the murderer is. So to start the show off right away with a murder, I think that was great. On-screen murder, because that really grabbed my attention. Now here's where I think they are going to have a challenge, and after seeing episode 3, I think they are going to pull it off. But the chemistry between the 3 new lead actors. When we first watched Pretty Little Liars, if you go back to episode 1, the on-screen chemistry, those girls feel like they've been friends for life, and you just want to hang out with them because they're fun. I'm not feeling like I really want to hang out with the 3 main leads on this show. I keep wanting them to cut back to Alison and Mona. Now maybe that's just because I know Alison and Mona, I've been watching them for a decade, but maybe that's because the three lead actresses don't, or actor and actresses don't have the chops to pull this off. I'm not sure yet, but I think at the end of season 3, as they were driving to the cabin, spoilers, as they were driving to the cabin to kind of work on solving this mystery together, they started to have that on-screen chemistry that they're going to need to really draw in an audience for this new show. Fans who have watched Pretty Little Liars can watch this show, and fans who have not watched Pretty Little Liars can jump in and also watch this show. I think it's great that they are able to do both, because they're able to still make it feel like it's connected to Rosewood. I think they're going to need to push that harder in the future, but they're also making it its own unique show. I think the cello music and all of the pop song covers are going to be a really huge draw. So far they've only done the Lady Gaga pop song cover. They're going to need to mix that up, like throw some new songs in there. Lady Gaga, that Poker Face is an old song, so they're going to have to throw in some new songs. They probably thought about that Poker Face one like years ago when they were pitching the show, which was 5 or 10 years ago. So they're going to need to spice it up and get some of the new songs that are on the radio now into this show. I think that alone, selling the pop song covers in the beautiful cello music, could be a huge selling point for the show. The aesthetic, I am not feeling like they are hitting the mark as closely as they did with Pretty Little Liars. When you think about PLL, the original, every single frame, every single shot, every outfit, their hair, their makeup, everything was on point. They were not only with the times, they were trendsetters. I remember those 4 girls being on the cover of every fashion magazine, every teen magazine. I remember when Aria got a feather in her hair, I got a feather in my hair. Okay, like every girl had a feather in her hair. They would have the fashion and the trends going like so on point and so perfect that everybody wanted to be them. I'm not quite seeing that here. I think some of these outfits kind of look silly. Maybe I'm getting too old and it's not the target demographic. I am 28 and this show is about like 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting too old for the fashion now, but I still am in the target demographic for the show because I watched this show for, when it was on, I was in the right demographic, and they're trying to reach Pretty Little Liars fans. So maybe I'm just behind on fashion trends, but I feel like there's a lot of shots in this that needed one quick, fix the hair, call in makeup, and do it one more time. Some of the outfits look really cool. Some of the hairstyles are, cool, but they're not trend setting yet. They're not like, oh my gosh, I need to go out and buy that outfit, or that's definitely going to be the season's big trend. I don't know. I'm not into fashion and makeup. It's not my thing. But I could tell when watching the original show, like, oh yeah, everybody's going to be wearing that when I, go to school or whatever. So I think that's one area that they might have to increase the fashion budget a little bit. I have a feeling that this show has kind of got not the biggest budget for the fashion and for the makeup as the other one did, because I listened to a interview with one of the writers, and he said that if he wrote into the script that Spencer was wearing a purse, he would then have 10 options of, purses brought to him by the props department, like, which one do you want? How do you want it to look? And I doubt that they're doing that much effort for this show. Just because Disney has so many other things going on. Yes, it is owned by Disney. They have so many other things going on right now that I don't know if they are putting in all of that kind of effort. But I do think that they're trending in the right direction. The three main leads are starting to have an interesting story. I'm interested to see where they go with the girl who faked her own death. Even though we've seen that before, it would be an interesting plot to see in the future. I'm interested to see another take on it and to see how Allie reacts to somebody else doing what she did. There's just so much that we could explore and deep dive into. The characters are all very reminiscent of the original show, and if they can just recreate the chemistry and the mystery of the original, I'm here for it. The new setting, totally fine. New characters, totally fine. I just want to get that feeling, and that's what Pretty Little Liars did so well, was a feeling of excitement and adventure, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't do like an A at the end of each episode, like a thriller, but they're just kind of doing cliffhangers. Because one of the original things that I loved about that show was the little clip at the end after the credits where it would be like, here's A, leaving a gift or a threat or something. And that was always fascinating to watch. But this show is, I think they're trying to up their game just a little bit and be just a bit more serious. A little bit. So we'll see where that goes. I want to know what you guys think. Make sure you like and subscribe because I am trying to hit 1,000 followers and I'm at 610. So we're making progress, but I would love to get all the way there. Like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and also let me know what you'd like me to give my thoughts on next, what you would like to talk about, and what you would like me to review. Especially, I love it when you guys send me like totally obscure, random internet things, like Game Development, the musical. I had a lot of fun with that. So keep sending them my way and I will take a look at them. All right, I'll see you in the next video.